Well, my friend Jeff from Rambling Around already knows about this, but nobody else does. This is our bale truck. I just brought it over here tonight because I'm dirty and I didn't want to get my truck dirty, and as you can see, this thing's always dirty. Anyway, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of Chevrolet, which actually, I still don't have to be. I'm not opposed to General Motors, by any means. Those of you guys who know me already know how I am. Whatever, it's kind of irrelevant. But instead of spending time on my 51 Ford getting it running, I kind of just don't want to because it's useless now living out on a farm. I need a 4-wheel drive. Well, the neighbor had a couple old trucks, his brother and his uncle's truck sitting around. And they're old 4-wheel drives, and I figured I'd try one. So when I sold my Chevelle in 1999, I said, I don't think I'll own another Chevrolet again. And luckily, I'm going to stay true to my word, because it's a gay man's chariot. This would have been a pretty cool truck at the time. I love green and the white top. I didn't even know GM did that. I thought just International and Dodge did it. Well, I've been tinkering around with this thing for, just a half an hour or an hour at a time for a couple weeks. And I really was dreading it. I bought, oh my god, tons of old vehicles, and a lot of them that didn't run. Like my 51 Ford sat for 16 years. Me and my grandpa messed with it, got it running in about, 4 or 5 hours. And the diaphragm and the fuel pump was shot. But we got it running, and god damn, she smoked to beat hell. And the 71 Ford I bought from the same guy, my great uncle, it sat for 8 years, and all I did was hook a battery up and put gas in it, and shit, she ran fine. But I've had pretty good luck getting stuff running, which really isn't that difficult if you kind of know what you're doing. But the only vehicle I had a really hard time with was my 67 El Camino. And that thing sat for a year and a half, and it took me a fucking week to get it running. I mean, the points were fried, and it was just a lot of little shit I'd never ran into before. And so, I haven't bought this truck yet. I don't know if I will or not. Actually, out of all the General Motors vehicles I've owned before, I think I've owned 8 or 9. This would be my first 350, which, that's kind of weird. My El Camino had a 327 in it. My Blazer had a 305 in it. Chevelle had a 396. My Buicks had 3.8s. My Pontiac Grande had a quad 4. My 69 Bonneville had a 428 Pontiac. Pretty odd motor. That's all the GM vehicles I've had, if I recall correctly. But anyway, it's getting late. I was tinkering with this thing. I had my wife come over to hear it run. And that's why I'm making this video. Actually, just in the, like I said, a couple weeks I've just been over here tinkering. I just blew the rat's nest off, which weren't bad, but they were in the back. And since Chevrolet likes to put the fucking distributor back there, which I'll never understand, there's some wires chewed off the distributor, which you can see my nice splice job, which is just temporary. And one of the plug wires is chewed in half. I just took it off. And it's still fired on 7 cylinders. And I disconnected the fuel line from the tank to the pump. I put that line in a beer can full of gas, which is right there. And it's the fuel pump shot, which this thing's been sitting since I was a junior in high school, which was 1994. So it's definitely the longest vehicle, or the vehicle that sat the longest that I've ever dealt with. So that's another thing that scared me. So 22 years. Actually, I think 21 and a half. I think that's the last time the guy that owned it changed the oil, and I think that's when he parked it. But either way, you could tell by the license plate, which I won't show because I don't want the guy to get doxxed. He's dead, but you never know. Let's see, here's another place where the rats built their nest. They chewed a hole in the damn, the fan line. I'm guessing that's what blows air. Hell, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but they chewed a hole in that, and it runs constantly, and the control on the dash doesn't work. So I just unplugged it. Tail lights don't work. One of the headlights didn't work. I figured it was blown, but these wires were chewed. I spliced them. The headlights work. That parking light doesn't work, which I'm guessing isn't because of wiring. It's a little accident it was in. Anyway, I'll end this and let you. This is a 74, by the way. Let you hear her run as you witness in history. I don't know if I have to jump it or not. Yeah, the battery I got in it shot. It'll hold the charge for about a day, but it's the only side terminal battery I have. See, that's all. I mean, it's not getting any fuel, but I can't believe it starts that easy. On 7 cylinders even. And by the way, I do have a fire extinguisher handy, because we've had some pretty nasty fires here in Kansas. Yeah, this truck was set up pretty good. The radio still works. Well, I mean, they don't have an antenna. CB works. No antennas. And you put the speaker up here. The tack, the 3 wires running from the tack are chewed to shit. I mean, there's 6 or 8 inches of wire just completely missing. I guess the rats ate them. But. It's got duals with cherry bombs. It's not very loud. Gotta love what sun does to plastic over the years. Well, thank God it's got this thing on there. I mean, this shit's like maple syrup. Anyway, I'll get this all put back together and go take a shower and call it a day. Well, yeah, I'm not opposed to General Motors, and this is going to be a good farm truck beater whenever it rains and gets muddy. Instead of getting this truck completely filthy, which is a lot harder to clean and worth a little bit more money, hopefully I'll end up buying this old girl. The only thing I don't like about it's a half ton, but I ain't going to be pulling shit with it, so whatever. Peace.